The Supreme Court stands as the highest authority in American law, a symbol of justice and the final arbiter of the nation's most pressing legal questions. Its imposing presence in Washington, D.C. reflects its crucial role in upholding the Constitution and safeguarding the rights of all Americans. With every decision, the court shapes the nation's legal landscape, setting precedents that influence not only the present but generations to come. Each ruling can redefine the boundaries of law and society, impacting millions of lives. The 9 justices, appointed for life, are entrusted with interpreting the Constitution. Their responsibility is to ensure that laws and executive actions remain faithful to the founding principles of the United States, providing a check on the other branches of government. When the justices reach a unanimous decision, it sends a powerful message. Such rare moments of complete agreement carry exceptional weight and clarity, especially when the issues at hand are deeply divisive or controversial. These moments of consensus reinforce the rule of law, providing a solid foundation for future legal interpretation. They help unify the country's understanding of complex legal matters and set enduring standards for lower courts to follow. The Supreme Court's influence reaches far beyond the courtroom walls. Its decisions affect the daily lives of citizens, shaping individual rights, defining the limits of government power, and guiding the nation's moral and legal compass. Recently, the court's unanimous decision on ghost guns, a contentious issue at the intersection of the Second Amendment and public safety, has captured national attention. The ruling addresses the growing concern over untraceable firearms and their regulation. The Supreme Court's approach to gun regulation has evolved over time, reflecting shifts in public opinion and legal interpretation. Every decision in this area is closely scrutinized, as it can have far-reaching consequences for both individual rights and public safety. The court's latest ruling on ghost guns marks a significant unified stance in the ongoing debate over firearms in America, underscoring its enduring role as a pillar of American law and a guardian of constitutional principles. The Bondi v. Vanderstock case emerged amid mounting national concern over so-called ghost guns, firearms that can be assembled at home from kits, often with just a few basic tools. These weapons are unique because they lack serial numbers, making them virtually impossible for law enforcement to trace if they're used in a crime. The term ghost gun refers to their ability to exist outside the traditional regulatory framework, effectively making them invisible to authorities. These kits, which can be purchased online or at gun shows, have become increasingly popular. Unlike traditional firearms, buyers can often acquire them without undergoing background checks or filling out paperwork, sidestepping federal regulations designed to keep guns out of the wrong hands. This loophole has raised alarms among lawmakers, law enforcement, and gun safety advocates. Law enforcement agencies across the country have reported a dramatic surge in ghost guns recovered at crime scenes. In 2017, about 1,600 ghost guns were recovered, but by 2021, that number had skyrocketed to over 19,000. This sharp increase has fueled debates about public safety and the effectiveness of existing gun laws. High-profile incidents involving ghost guns have made headlines, further intensifying the debate and putting pressure on federal agencies to act. In response to these concerns, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, or ATF, updated its rules in 2022. The new regulations required sellers of gun kits to obtain federal licenses, conduct background checks on buyers, and serialize key components, making them traceable like traditional firearms. However, these changes were met with fierce opposition from gun rights advocates and some manufacturers. They argued that the ATF had exceeded its legal authority, claiming that only Congress has the power to make such sweeping changes to gun laws. Lawsuits quickly followed, challenging the new rules in federal courts. As the legal battles played out, lower courts issued conflicting rulings, creating a patchwork of regulations and uncertainty for both law enforcement and the firearms industry. This confusion ultimately propelled the case to the highest court in the land. At the heart of the case is a fundamental question. Does the ATF have the legal authority to regulate gun kits as firearms under existing federal law, or is that power reserved for Congress alone? The Supreme Court agreed to hear the case, setting the stage for a landmark decision that could reshape the future of gun regulation in America. Ghost guns are firearms assembled from kits, often purchased online or at gun shows, that allow individuals to build a fully functional weapon at home. Unlike traditional firearms, these guns arrive as unfinished parts, requiring only a few hours and some basic tools to complete. What sets ghost guns apart is their lack of serial numbers, making them invisible to law enforcement databases. Without these unique identifiers, tracking the origin or ownership of a ghost gun is nearly impossible. These kits include unfinished frames or receivers, parts not previously regulated as firearms because they were sold incomplete. This legal loophole allowed sellers to market them freely, bypassing the rules that apply to completed guns. Without serial numbers, ghost guns can't be traced from manufacturer to owner, undermining investigations and public safety. When a crime is committed with a ghost gun, police often hit a dead end, unable to follow the usual paper trail. The lack of regulation allowed people barred from owning guns, like felons or those with certain mental health histories, to buy kits without background checks. This means that individuals who would fail a standard gun purchase screening could still obtain a deadly weapon with ease. Assembly is simple, often requiring only basic tools and instructions, making the process accessible to almost anyone, regardless of technical skill. Online forums and video tutorials have further demystified the process, guiding first-timers step by step. And with the rise of 3D printing, creating gun parts at home has become even easier. Digital blueprints for firearm components can be downloaded and printed, further complicating efforts to regulate these weapons. This accessibility turned what was once a niche hobby for gun enthusiasts into a mainstream method for acquiring untraceable weapons. Ghost guns have rapidly gained popularity, with thousands of kits sold each year. The result: a growing challenge for law enforcement and a loophole in federal gun safety laws. As more ghost guns appear at crime scenes, officials warn that the threat to public safety is escalating. The controversy centers on whether these kits should be regulated like traditional firearms. Lawmakers and courts are now debating how to close the loophole without infringing on legal gun ownership. The Supreme Court's decision will determine if the law can keep pace with this evolving threat, shaping the future of gun regulation in America. In March 2025, the Supreme Court unanimously upheld the ATF's regulation, declaring that ghost gun kits fall under the federal definition of a firearm. The ruling closed a major loophole, requiring background checks and serial numbers for gun kits. The court found it reasonable for the ATF to interpret the Gun Control Act to include kits designed to be readily converted into functional weapons. This decision ensures that sellers can't evade the law by selling guns in parts. Law enforcement can now trace these weapons, restoring a critical tool for solving crimes. The ruling aligns ghost gun kits with existing firearms regulations, sending a clear message that public safety measures can't be sidestepped. It marks a pivotal moment in adapting gun laws to modern challenges. The Supreme Court's decision transforms the market for gun kits. Sellers must now obtain a federal firearms license, conduct background checks, and serialize key components, just like traditional gun dealers. Every transaction must be recorded, creating a paper trail for law enforcement. Buyers can no longer purchase kits anonymously. They must present ID, fill out federal paperwork, and pass a background check. These changes closed the loophole that allowed prohibited individuals to acquire untraceable weapons. Law-abiding citizens can still build firearms, but only after meeting the same requirements as buying a finished gun. The new rules balance public safety with the rights of legal gun owners. The era of anonymous, unregulated gun kit sales is over. The court's decision was shaped not just by law, but by linguistics. Justice Gorsuch's majority opinion drew on the concept of artifact nouns, words defined by intended function, not current form. He argued that a kit designed to become a gun is, by function, a firearm, under the law. This reasoning allowed the court to address modern technology without rewriting the statute. Some justices debated the use of linguistics, but all agreed on the outcome. The approach bridged judicial philosophies, providing a logical foundation for the ruling. Linguistics helped the court apply old laws to new realities. The 9-0 decision in Bondi v. Vanderstock is striking for its unanimity. In a polarized era, all justices, liberal and conservative, agreed the ATF's regulation was a lawful application of existing law. The majority opinion focused on the functional purpose of gun kits, sidestepping political debates. Liberal justices saw it as a step for public safety. Conservatives viewed it as proper regulatory authority, not a Second Amendment infringement. Even with some disagreement on reasoning, the justices found common ground in enforcing the law as written. The consensus underscores the strength of the legal case and the urgency of the issue. The ruling is seen as enforcement, not expansion, of gun regulation. It's a rare moment of clarity and unity from the nation's highest court. The Supreme Court's ruling has immediate impact for law enforcement and citizens. Police can now trace ghost guns, gaining crucial leads in criminal investigations. Licensed sellers must keep records, making it harder for criminals to acquire untraceable weapons. Law enforcement can audit sellers and prosecute illegal traffickers, disrupting the supply of crime guns. For hobbyists, building guns remains legal if they pass a background check. The decision doesn't ban kits, but regulates their sale to keep guns from prohibited buyers. The ruling balances public safety with gun rights, closing a dangerous loophole. The court's unanimity gives the decision lasting authority. It's a decisive step in updating gun laws for the modern era.